So I'm gonna need you to explain it to me like I'm 10. I want you to really break this down to me like I'm 10 years old and tell me why ICE agents zip tying black babies in Chicago, because I can't for the life of me understand why this happened. Why was this necessary? These are black babies, American citizens living in Chicago, but ICE agents are zip tying them because they pose a threat to who? They are a danger to what? I need you to explain this to me like I'm 10. Not only why did this happen, why is there not collective outrage behind it? Why is this not on the news? Why is this not being covered? Why is this not being talked about by almost anybody but a handful of black people in this country?
Hi guys, this is Tiana and you're welcome to Tiana's React. So children are screaming, mothers begging, ICE agents everywhere. So can someone explain to me, just like I am 5, why ICE is arresting and handcuffing children? This is wide, guys. This is really wide. Chicago just witnessed one of the darkest immigration raids in years. And this time, the victims weren't criminals. They were kids. Like how? How do you justify handcuffing childhood in the name of law? When the ones you swore to protect become your prey, something's deeply broken. No child should fear a knock at midnight. Definitely no child. Well, let's dive in and watch what's happened.
We have some very serious and horrific news right now about the Chicago ICE raid on a residential apartment building earlier this week that not many people are talking about. We're learning more group through some details in this moment. Ebony Sweet Swatson, who's a neighbor of the apartment building, lives right across the street, says it looked like hundreds of agents were outside of her front door. She saw where agents dragging residents across the grounds, including children, out of the building without any clothes on and into U-Haul vans. Kids were actively separated from their mother. She said it was heartbreaking to watch because even if you're not a mother, seeing kids, quote, coming out butt naked and taken from their mothers, it was horrible. She went in to help one of the residents in the building and she was shocked at what she saw. There was stuff everywhere. Birth certificates and paperwork was thrown all over. Water was leaking into the hallway. ICE ransacked a residential building, dragged children out into U-Haul vans in Chicago, and no one is talking about it. Spread the word because people need to know.
Then y'all ain't even got handcuffs. They got these men like
and then y'all
surrounding
a fucking baby. You gotta
try y'all fucking wrong for that shit.
Y'all got kids like y'all both as hell, man. You gotta eat cameras so y'all hurt this man.
And y'all the hood, man. Y'all, we said fuck y'all up. Y'all ain't got to do all that.
Man, look at their face. They mamas is immigrants for sure. What the fuck is wrong with them? His ass definitely some type of Hispanic. It's two Mexicans right here, bro. That's clear as day. Y'all did that, bro.
Look, they taking the mama too. No, don't take her from her baby. Don't take her from her baby. I ain't trying to take the mama.
Bro, is y'all
don't
crazy?
Take her from her baby.
Bro, y'all ass bogus as hell.
Don't take her from her baby. They bogus.
It's our job.
I think they trying to take the mama now. Yeah, then y'all ain't even.
Wow. So you tell me this whole time they could have mobilized in order to search for children. This is what they could have done to find the missing kids and women. Thousands and thousands of them. But instead they do this.
She says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Pratishu Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen-At video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents.
Come around the corner, because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, "Them kids."
Fuck the kids. I really want people to sit with what happened here. They used Black Hawk helicopters in the middle of the night to rappel into an apartment building. They pulled everyone out, broke down the doors. Little kids who were sleeping naked or in their underwear, pulled out crying, zip tied together and thrown into U-Haul vans. Grown-ups, adults, seniors, did nothing wrong, middle of the night. Again, unclothed, zip tied together, thrown and detained for hours. No ability to make a phone call, no lawyer, no warrant, nothing. They are being abused. They're being assaulted. They're having their rights violated. They're having their possessions destroyed. It's hard for me to be shocked by what this administration does at this point when you're talking about pulling naked kids out of their beds, zip tying them together and throwing them in the back of a U-Haul van in the middle of the night. How can anyone, I don't care if you love Trump or hate Trump or you're anti, whatever, I don't know how anyone morally justifies this and feels okay with it and thinks that it doesn't directly implicate your own rights in your own life. These are criminal acts being committed by the DHS. They have decided that our rights do not exist, do not matter, that through brute force, they can literally do whatever they want to whoever they want. When your government that has the full force and power of the state is acting with complete and total impunity, that is a vastly greater danger than anything that we have seen in terms of undocumented immigrants coming into this country. And that's what I want people to really understand, okay? This is about immigration, but it's also not about immigration. This is a demonstration to the public. We can do whatever we want to you. You better stay in line. You better pray. You better be on our good side, because that is the only thing that will protect you. So you better shut up and sit down and get in line.
Breaking news, Donald Trump's ICE arrested and zip-tied the hands of young children in Chicago overnight as they raided an apartment complex that was rumored to have gang members. So they went and arrested everybody in the building, including old ladies who were taken into custody for 5 hours and then finally released at 3 a.m. because they were like, oh, yeah, I guess you are an old lady. Unbelievable. Let me read you this from ABC 7 Chicago. ABC 7 spoke to Pertusa Fisher, a woman who lives in the building. She said ICE agents took everyone in the building, including her, and asked questions later. They just treated us like we were nothing, Fisher said. She said she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex at 10 p.m. Monday, only to find armed ICE agents yelling, "Police!" It was scary, she said, because I'd never had a gun in my face before. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? And I told them no. They took her into custody until 3 a.m. Another innocent American woman had the same thing happen to her. As I got to my unit to stick my key in the door, I was grabbed by an officer and I said, what's going on? What's going on? He never actually told me. He said I was being detained. Again, this is like the secret police, right? No identification, not telling you what's going on. They take you in, arrest you, ask questions later. Oh, but it gets worse. They arrived in Black Hawk helicopters like Apocalypse Now and used flashbangs. They were terrified. My kids were crying. People were screaming. They looked very distraught, one woman said. I was out there crying when I see this little girl come around the corner because they were bringing kids down too, had them zip tied to each other. I kept asking, what is the morality? Where's the humanity? One of the ICE agents literally laughed at me. He was standing there and he said, F-U-C-K them kids. Another American witness said they had military-style vans to separate the parents from their children, and they also segregated Latinos from blacks, a different van for each. We now have fascist secret police in America.
Hey y'all, so I just want to talk about the fact that none of the major news outlets are covering these ICE raids in Chicago. And these raids took place in a building that had black people and Venezuelans. They apparently were looking for the Venezuelans. They came in with helicopters. They came in with tear gas. They came in knocking down doors, basically pulling these people out of their houses at 10 o'clock at night. There's an elderly woman who said she was taken out in her nightgown at 10 o'clock at night, asked if she had any warrants, and then was not released till 3 a.m. while she was in her nightgown and handcuffed. They were handcuffing black children, separating them from their parents, handcuffing the kids off to one side, parents on another side. They told people, if you have warrants, you will not be getting released. And they claimed they were there looking for Venezuelans. They done tore these people's places up. Look, you can see this man's apartment's all tore up. Look at these hallways. Just went through, caused a complete and utter havoc. And all of that because you claim you're looking for Venezuelans in a building. So it requires all of that. I don't even think y'all think about not even just the psychological trauma this is going to cause on these children, who are not going to, already probably don't trust the police and really aren't going to trust them now. The psychological effect on the parents, scared. The cost that we're all paying for this stupid shit. Let's add that to it. And now people have been put in jail. And granted, yes, if you have a warrant, okay, but some people don't know sometimes they have warrants. In addition, you don't get to just pick me up while you're looking for illegals, as you call them, because on stolen land, who's illegal? But using that as an opportunity to arrest people. And you knew you were doing this in a predominantly black area. So while if they're doing this in Chicago, what's next? Where's next? Where are they going next? And the fact that none of these major news outlets are carrying it ought to tell you everything you need to know. The news does not care. The news is basically on payroll. We already know about how Sinclair Media and the other media company, we found this out with the Jimmy Kimmel thing, how they basically control what is said on the media and have all of their stations regurgitating the same bullshit. We also saw, when we're going back now that Trump has admitted he knew about Project 2025, and we can see all the news outlets, CNN, Fox, all these major outlets that basically said Kamala was lying when she said Trump was going to put Project 2025 in place. They said Tim Walz was lying. These news outlets literally said these people were lying, for it now to be, they weren't lying. So we don't trust you, media. And now you don't show this. This just continues to prove that y'all ain't shit. And this is why y'all want TikTok to go away, because we're getting our news source from real people who are really giving real information, and not you people that are company bought and sold and won't share real information because they know if we're uneducated and we don't know what's going on, they can continue to do shit to us. Okay, this is why they're not telling us, because they know if more people knew about it, they'd be saying, what the hell is going on? We didn't think, especially even the MAGAs, that are now saying, well, we thought he just was going for illegals. We didn't think they were going to be messing with citizens. Well, they are. So what y'all going to do? What now? What now? Elections have consequences, and innocent people, innocent children are being affected by your fucked up ass decisions. I hope none of y'all ever fucking sleep at night.
Do you see that hundreds of agents raided an apartment complex in Chicago in the middle of the night, taking children out naked and detaining black U.S. citizens? This happened around 1 a.m. at a large apartment complex in the South Shore neighborhood of Chicago. Over 300 agents from ICE, FBI, ATF, and other agents showed up to the apartment complex. They came with helicopters, some people saying they saw Black Hawk helicopters, and it seems that they also came hidden in budget and U-Haul trucks. Officials from the government said that they did this because they were looking for 6 high-priority targets, including suspected members of Tren de Aragua. Even though they never showed a warrant while they were there, and they have not confirmed if they actually detained anyone that is a member of Tren de Aragua. Agents went into nearly all of the 100 apartments that were in the complex. They were busting down doors and dragging people out of their beds. There are reports of kids being zip-tied and being taken out buck naked. Black residents who are U.S. citizens also said that they were dragged out of their apartments. They were held at gunpoint.
Chicago, I need everyone on high red alert. This is a 5-alarm fire. ICE is apparently launching a new operation dubbed Freaky Friday today, targeting unaccompanied children aged 14 and older of all nationalities. So what we have learned, children detained and released will be sent a threat letter from ICE threatening indefinite detention and immediate transfer to ICE upon age out if they do not waive jurisdiction under the TVPRA and withdraw applications for relief. Children will be offered $2,500 to return to their countries of origin. If children do not comply with the offer, the letter intimates their parents in the U.S. will be arrested. ICE plans to detain all age outs, and they anticipate legal challenges. There are indications that the age threshold for this threat letter may be lowered to 10 years old. We understand they plan to first detain children, but will also target children released from custody. Giving this alarming information, we strongly encourage all LSPs to the extent possible to provide Know Your Rights presentations to all children they are working with in custody as soon as practicable, advising them of this plan and their rights not to sign anything without consulting their attorney. Also, consider advising children out of custody of the possibility of receiving a letter. File L3 forms for all children in custody as capacity allows. If a child receives a letter, please consider preparing a declaration that highlights the manner in which this ICE letter was delivered. Was counsel present and able to advise? Were youth able to ask questions? Evidence of coercion or intimidation, underlying fear of return elements related to the child's relief application. Litigators are coordinating and will provide more information on who to direct these decks to. Please report any concerns to the HHS Ombudsman's office here at ucoo@acf.hhs.gov.
So guys, children are crying and families are torn apart and they still call it justice. When kids become the target, the system has already failed. This is Tiana, and if you've made it this far, drop your thoughts in the comments and also do well to support the channel by subscribing, because no law should break a child's heart. Till next time.